Hi, I'm Andy, and I am the Keto Buckeye. Welcome to my channel. Glad to have you. Today, we're going to talk about baking on keto. Not cooking, but baking. Baking yummy things, baked goods, cakes, cookies, bread, bagels, all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not going to cook anything, obviously, but I have products that I'm going to show you. And things that I keep in my pantry. Don't go buy all these at once because they're a little bit more pricey than your regular sugar, flour, all of that. Of course, if it's good for you, it's got to be more expensive, right? So I have my list over here to keep me on track because you know how I get. And then I have my box of goodies over here. So apologize if it gets a little jostled around here because on my porch, beautiful day. Apologize ahead of time. There's a soccer game going on right over there. So if you hear a bunch of yay, that's the soccer game. How are you guys today? Bailey and I went to a wedding today, and it was a beautiful, beautiful wedding. Loved it. It was a real pretty fall wedding, even though it's basically summer here still. It was a fall wedding. It's beautiful. Loved it. It was a friend of the family's daughter, and well, she's family. It was family's daughter. And it was gorgeous. It was about an hour and a half away. So we had a really nice day of it. And it was, like I said, beautiful outside wedding. Perfect day for it. So I'm happy. I'm in a good mood today. So my list. What we're doing is basically is substitutes. We're talking about substitutes today. What can you substitute? So we're going to start with sugars. The sugars that are keto friendly, you have stevia, which I am not a fan of stevia. I know a lot of people use it. If you like it, use it, obviously. I feel it's a little bitter. It is not a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you were to use a cup of sugar, you would not use a cup of stevia. It's really, I guess you would say it's concentrated. I find it bitter. I don't care for it. What I do love is monk fruit sweetener. And most monk fruit sweetener is cut with erythritol. There is some that's cut with stevia. I like the kind that's cut with erythritol. Erythritol is another sweetener substitute. And erythritol by itself, I've used many times. I feel like if you're using a lot of it in a recipe, and not everybody gets this, but for me, I get this weird cooling sensation in my throat, and it kind of burns my throat a little bit. So I'm not a huge fan of erythritol. It serves a great purpose. It does. But I do get my monk fruit that's cut with erythritol. And this is the brand that I get, and I am sorry if this is, it's for me looking at it, it's backwards. So if it's forwards for you, if it's not backward for you, great. But the Lakanto this is just the granulated, just like granulated sugar. It has 4 grams of carbs per teaspoon. So it can get carby if you're using a lot of it, but usually, with a recipe, there's several servings involved. The other sweetener, I just got this sweetener substitute. It's powdered sugar substitute. I just got it. I've never tried this brand before. Lakanto has a monk fruit sweetener that's powdered. Also, you can get powdered erythritol. If you've heard of Swerve, that's powdered erythritol. But I get the Monk Zero. And on this one, it says, maybe, oh no, yeah, 1-to-1. So if you're going to use a cup of powdered sugar, you would use a cup of this. Same with the granulated. If you're going to use a cup of powder or a cup of granulated sugar, you're going to use a cup of the monk fruit sweetener. It's 1-to-1. So that's really good. I love that. So this is confectioners. This is powdered. It's really good to make cheesecakes. It's really good to make icing, cream cheese icing. It's amazing. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. So the third one, brown sugar substitute. This is Sucre and Gold. It's really good. It tastes the monk fruit, and I believe this is erythritol. Yes, this is erythritol and stevia based, actually. How about that? It is very carby. It is 8 grams of carbs per 2 teaspoons. But it is erythritol, so it's not. There's no sugars. There's no sugars. But this is really good for. I put it if I'm making a crust for a cheesecake. I use pecans and I grind them up in my little Ninja grinder, and I mix a little bit of this with some vanilla and some melted butter, and you press it down. It's amazing. It's really good. I have another crust recipe that I make with, you know what, I'm getting ahead of myself. Just wait. So those are the sweeteners. Like I said, you can also use stevia. I don't care for stevia, so I don't have stevia. I thought I had some liquid stevia, but I might have given that away to someone else. I don't know. So let's talk about flours. Can't use regular flour, so do use almond flour. Almond flour is the base for a lot of different recipes. I get the Blue Diamond. I get it from Sam's. It is $13.99 per 48 ounces. I think that's a pretty good price. Obviously, it's more expensive than regular flour, but we go through it a lot. We make a lot of stuff with almond flour. I use a lot. I bake a lot. I love it. The other, flour substitute, coconut flour. This is Anthony's. This is from Amazon. I don't know how much it was. I think it was like $15.99 for 4 pounds. Coconut flour. You don't use near as much coconut flour as you do almond flour. Almond flour and coconut flour are not interchangeable. Say you use a cup of almond flour, you would not use a cup of coconut flour. Coconut flour is more absorbent, so you use less of that. I don't know what the ratio is. You have to look it up. But they are not interchangeable. You cannot. There are some recipes that have both. They'll have a little bit of coconut flour, a little bit of almond flour. I feel like those recipes are a little bit more, they're the most like the baked goods that we were used to before we started keto. The thing about coconut flour is I don't like coconut. I don't like the taste of it. And I can't eat coconut itself, like the fruit. Coconut, I can't eat that. The texture is weird to me. But the taste, I'm not a real big fan of the taste of coconut. So, especially if you're making something savory, like a flatbread, or something like that, there are some coconut flour recipes. If you like the taste of coconut, you may like it. I have made peanut butter cookies with the coconut flour. The first day I made them, I could taste the coconut in it. The second day I could not. So, whatever. Another thing that I use when I've used it for pancakes, I've used it for some bread, a couple of bread recipes. Oat fiber, sorry. I keep everything in baggies. Oat fiber. Now, oat fiber has 3 grams of carbs and 3 dietary fiber. So there's 0 net carbs in oat fiber. Some people don't feel like oat fiber is keto because it's made from oats. However, it will not cause a glycemic response. And like I said, I've made things with it. If you just need that bready thing, I've made a lot of things from Pinterest. Some were winners and some were not. I have taken the ones that weren't. I've wondered why, and I've taken those recipes and I have changed them, I zhuzhed them a little bit, as my friend Sarah would say. I zhuzhed them just to make them more palatable, because the reason that we're baking and the reason that we're making things like that is because maybe we miss it. Maybe we miss the bread. Maybe we miss a cake or some cookies or whatever, and it's totally doable. So, get on Pinterest, Google, and if you don't like the end product, make it exactly like the recipe first. And then if you don't like the end product, then you can zhuzh it a little bit. Another thing, flaxseed meal. I buy the already ground flaxseed. The weird thing about flaxseed is if it sits for too long, this is what I've heard. This has not happened to mine, but I use it. It's really good for like muffins, bakery items, bread, those kind of things. I think I've made a pancake recipe with the flaxseed before. I just try everything. I just try to make everything, and then eventually I get it right, and then that becomes a staple of our snacks. Flaxseed, 3 carbs, 3 grams of fiber, so it's zero net carbs. What else do we have? Chia seeds. Chia seeds are so good for you. They have a lot of omega-3 in them, and they have a lot of fiber. I don't use them very often. There is a pudding recipe on Pinterest. I have not tried it. But chia seeds, when you add water to them, they form like a gel. It's kind of weird. It kind of skeeves me out a little bit. But I used to put them, before I started keto, I used to put them in my overnight oats. And they're really good for you. So you should buy them. What else do we have here? Psyllium husk. I have a baggie full of psyllium husk. I took it out of the package and put it in a Ziploc bag, so I don't actually have the package. But psyllium husk works really great as a breading for chicken. You can also put it in, there are a lot of recipes that have a baked good kind of recipe that have the psyllium husk in it. Note, psyllium husk is a lot of fiber, so it will make you go to the bathroom. If you eat too much, if you eat enough of it, you'll have to go to the bathroom. So I know, not to get gross or anything, but I know on keto sometimes we get a little stopped up. Psyllium husk. Basically Metamucil. You've heard of Metamucil. That's psyllium husk. This is not Metamucil. This is actual psyllium husk that I bought as psyllium husk. Xanthan gum. I buy the Bob's Red Mill. I don't use a whole lot of it because it's a little bit goes a long way. But the Bob's Red Mill Xanthan gum. I always say Xanthan gum. It's really good for stuff that you need a thickener for. I have seen several recipes for gravy, like sausage gravy, biscuits and gravy. Make a biscuit, keto biscuit, not a regular biscuit. Make a keto biscuit. And then the recipe that I used was sausage, and it was heavy cream and some xanthan gum. And it acts as a thickener. Also, if you have like a bagel recipe or something that, soft pretzels, that has some chew to it, the xanthan gum adds that chew. Okay, so when we spray our pans, you can't use Pam or vegetable oil spray or anything like that. So they make an olive oil spray. They also make coconut oil spray. Now, I only use this if I'm making waffles, like morning waffles. I don't use it if I'm doing something savory because that's kind of weird. It does have a coconut-y flavor. Also, coconut oil, the coconut oil that you get in a jar. You're supposed to use the unrefined, and it has that coconut oil, that coconut flavor to it. I use the refined because it doesn't. Because again, I don't like coconut, but I do cook with that. I said waffles. I make waffles. I have tried so many recipes for pancakes and waffles, and they just don't really do it for me. Anthony, my significant other, he doesn't like the almond flour pancakes and waffles because he doesn't like that nutty taste to it. But we have recently discovered chaffles. If you have not tried a chaffle, look them up. You need to do them. You need to make chaffles. They're amazing. It's basically mozzarella cheese and an egg. And you put it in your waffle iron, and you can use it. You can make. Some people use it as bread. I've seen a grilled cheese made that with that. We just use it for. I make them most every morning with a sugar-free syrup. Watch your ingredients. Make sure that it's not maltodextrin or any of the bad sugar substitutes that are going to cause a glycemic response, because that could be bad. What else do we have over here in my bag of tricks? Oh, so when you're making something that's a little bready, and you would normally make with yeast, and I've seen people make things with yeast on keto. Yeast needs sugar to activate. I have never tried to activate it with a monk fruit sweetener or a stevia. I don't know. I have no idea. But it's really good for that bready flavor. So, like in my fathead dough, pizza dough, and like bagel recipe, I use the nutritional yeast. It gives that bready taste. It's only 1 net carb per tablespoon. And if you're using, and I only usually use 1 tablespoon for the whole thing, it just gives a little bit of a good, it gives that bready flavor, that yeasty flavor. So I just use it for flavor. Now, there are a lot of questions about chocolate. What kind of chocolate do you use? Well, the most keto chocolate is Lily's. I believe it is erythritol based. If you've ever bought Lily's, you know that it's very expensive. I think a regular size bag, like you would get Toll House chips, a regular size bag of Lily's, I think is like $12.99. Someone told me the other day they bought it for $7.99 at Walmart, I think. That's a lot. I make a chocolate pudding recipe. I think I've mentioned it before. It's on my Facebook page, which I will tell you at the end. I use this. I use the Lind, 95% cocoa. Ghirardelli has a 92%. I think that's the lowest, or the highest that they have other than 100%. You don't want 100%, because that's baking chocolate, and it really is bitter. But this is 95%. I really hope that this is not backwards when you guys watch it. I hope it isn't, but it might be. But, so this has, per serving, 8 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fiber. So it's 3 net carbs. There's only 1 sugar in it. There's only 1 sugar in, and 4 pieces. This is, I think there's 10 pieces in this. I don't know. I think there's 10 pieces. There's only 1 sugar per serving. The whole bar has 2 sugars in it. Yeah, the whole bar has 2 sugars in it. I never eat a whole bar. I have been known, I don't just bake with this. I have been known to eat a square of this. If you like dark chocolate, it's really good. I was never a dark chocolate person. Since being on keto, I have become a dark chocolate person because that's really all we can do. It has to be at least 80% cocoa. And check your label. Check your label to see how many sugars are in it, how many net carbs are in it, all of that. Check your labels. I know I say that all the time. Check your labels. Soccer game. This is usually at Kroger. They usually have it 2 for $5. And then inside is a $1 off coupon for 2. So you can get them 2 for $4 after you buy them and get the $1 coupon inside. Yeah. So those are what I usually use. Now, a couple other things for baking. When you're making like say you're making a cheesecake, you're going to use cream cheese. Sometimes you'll use sour cream. Make sure it's full fat everything, full fat, full fat. So full fat cream cheese, full fat heavy whipping cream. Well, heavy whipping cream is full fat. Full fat mozzarella. If you don't know, mozzarella cheese is really great in some bread substitutes. The fathead dough, the chaffles that I make, which you can make them sweet or savory. I usually make them sweet in the morning. And Anthony really likes them. He likes them better. Oh, I know. He likes them better than any of the mixes. This is a keto pancake mix. It's a little pricey. I think it's like $6.99, but I got it on sale for $4.99, I think, the last time I got it. It has 10 grams of carbs and 5 grams of dietary fiber. So it's 5 net carbs per 2 4-inch pancakes. It has 3 sugars in it. It was good. We liked it. We really liked it. But then we found the chaffles, and we don't like this anymore. There's also one, a friend of mine, Amanda. Hi, Amanda, if you're watching. They did the Keto and Company, Keto and Co. They said that they liked it better. It's a little bit more expensive. I think it's a bigger bag though. But I think it was $12.99 on Amazon. Most of my products come from Amazon. The ones that are from Amazon, if you would like, I will put a link in the description so you can check those out. I'll put a link of everything that I've ordered from Amazon. And even the stuff, because I know you can get Bob's Red Mill. This, like, the Bob's Red Mill's Xanthan gum, you can get that at Kroger. The oat fiber, no, the flaxseed meal, that was the Simple Truth brand from Kroger. Kroger does sell Swerve now. I saw it the other day when I was in there. They sell the confectioners and the granulated. So that's a good thing. Again, a little pricey, but it's readily available. You can buy it. And so that's great. You can buy it. What else do we have? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, there's one more sugar substitute. I had actually never heard of this, but I was watching the Keto Chef. Check him out because he's got some really great recipes. He was making ice cream, and he said if you've ever tried to make ice cream, keto ice cream, if you keep it in the freezer for too long, it is rock solid, which is fine. I mean, if you know you're going to eat it, then set it out for about a half an hour and it softens up. Or after a couple of hours of freezing it, then you can eat it then once it gets set. But if you leave it in there for any period of time, it gets rock hard. He said that if you put a little bit of allulose, which is a sweetener substitute, if you use allulose instead of monk fruit sweetener or Swerve, that it won't get rock solid. I haven't tried it. Another recipe that I found for ice cream was if you didn't want it to be rock solid, to put like a tablespoon of vodka in it. I use real vanilla extract, and I make my vanilla. My mother-in-law gave me a little vial of homemade vanilla one time, and now I can't buy it. I can't get the store-bought. It just doesn't taste the same. And the regular vanilla, real quick, beans from Amazon, the Madagascar. You want the Madagascar beans from Amazon, a little pricey. It's worth it because it makes a ton and it lasts forever. So I think I buy a pack that has like 5 beans in it. You cut them up, you put them in the bottom of I have a bottle that has a little like cork thing, plastic cork thing, and it's about, it's I don't know, 20 ounces maybe. So you put the beans in there, and then you fill it with vodka. You do not have to have a premium vodka for that. You can use a cheap vodka. I use cheap vodka for that, not for drinking, for that. And you, it takes a while. It takes about 2 to 4 weeks until it's done which is, it looks like, you know, it's brown. And oh, let me tell you, it is amazing. It is the best vanilla. She actually makes it with several different kind of liquors. She has like a cinnamon, and she has a peach, I think peach brandy that she's made, which depending on what you make, she bakes a lot. Not keto at all. She's a wonderful baker, but it's not keto at all. But it's amazing. So yeah, little thing about vanilla. The only time I ever use store-bought vanilla is if I'm making, because I do make cakes for people, real cakes, not keto cakes. I make real cakes, and the icing, I use clear vanilla because it will tint your icing. If you use the regular vanilla, it will tint your icing. So if I need a white icing, then I use the clear vanilla. So yeah, I hope that this has helped you a little bit. I love baking. I absolutely love it. I loved baking before, and when we started keto, I was like, what can I make? And then I just started Googling and Pinteresting and Pinteresting, and like I said, I find recipes that they look good, so I make them. And if they're not quite what I want, if they don't taste like what maybe they should, I try to dissect it, and I try to find out what else it needs. What can I do? What else it needs to taste as much like the original treat, the original cake, pie, whatever, as possible. Because while we don't have sugar cravings on keto, once you're after you're in ketosis, you don't have sugar cravings. However, you still remember what it tastes like. You still want it. I want a piece of pie. I want some chocolate chip cookies. Oh, speaking of this, when I make my chocolate chip cookies, I just chop this up into chunks, like little chunks. I chop it up instead of using. You don't want to use the Hershey's sugar-free because it has maltodextrin in it. Bad news. So yeah, Lily's is about is about one of the only keto chocolate chips that's out there. But like I said, they're expensive. They're really expensive, and I bake a lot. So now, don't go and buy all of this stuff at once because it's going to cost you a mint. But maybe each week buy one thing so that you have enough staples in your pantry to try to bake. Look at some recipes of things that maybe you want to make, and then pick the ones that with stuff that you have. We always have cream cheese. We always have heavy whipping cream. We always have almond flour and things like that. Oh, another thing, milk substitutes. So other than heavy whipping cream, there's almond milk and coconut milk. Make sure you get the unsweetened. I get the unsweetened vanilla. It's good. Almond milk. Coconut cream. Coconut cream comes in a can. Make sure it's full fat. Full fat. The coconut cream. It is a little bit more carbier, but it's really good, and it's a really good substitute if you like coconut. I have not used it. I bought a couple of cans of the coconut cream to make ice cream because I saw a recipe that had coconut cream and heavy whipping cream, and now I can't find it. I can't find the recipe. I should have written it down or saved it or pinned it or whatever. So, recipes. I have a YouTube channel. Obviously, I have a YouTube channel. I have a Facebook page. It is The Keto Buckeye, just like my YouTube channel, The Keto Buckeye. Facebook, give me a like. There are recipes on there for, I believe, my cheesecake recipes on there, and my chocolate chip cookie recipes on there, and there's a lot of recipes on there. Baking and also cooking, things that we have a lot that I'm sharing, that I shared. There's also the chaffle and the pizza waffle that I use for my pizza crust now instead of fathead. It's really good. Those are on there. So yeah, give me a like. And if you're on Instagram, Andy's _keto _journey. Andy's _keto _journey. come follow me. I don't post a lot of recipes on there, but I do post. I've been posting more than I was. I have a couple of different Instagrams. I have one for my personal, and then I have that one, and then my dog Gracie has her own Instagram. I know it's a little extra, but she has lots of friends on there. Whatever. So if you liked this content, if you want to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell. It'll tell you when I have another video coming out. And if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. And until next time, happy baking. Let me know what you bake. If you bake something, let me know in the comments. I would love to know what recipes you've tried, and yeah, so let me know. And until then, happy baking and have a great evening.